Alright, for these, one of them I'm going to show you a certain way to do it that some students prefer. First I'm going to start with this guy. It says 3x minus 16 equals 5x plus 2 minus 4x. Well, this equation is kind of long. There's a lot of terms in it. First thing we recommend straight out of the textbook is when you see an equation that has more than two terms, or one side of the equation, that means you can combine them. So before I move anything, I recognize that I can combine these two variable terms on the right. 3x minus 16 equals 5x plus 2 minus 4x. So I'm not going to move anything. I'm going to leave the 3x minus 16 here, but I noticed that I can combine the 5x minus 4x. Now notice, I'm not going to do this. Plus 4x plus 4x. That's wrong. Hopefully you can see why that's wrong. Remember the way math works with equations. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other side. A student that does this didn't do anything on this side of the equals. Look, they did it to the same side twice. That's actually incorrect. And the reason you don't have to do that is because those two terms are on the same side. Just combine them. You can already combine them. 5x minus 4x is just 1x. So I'm just going to put x plus 2. That's step one. If you can combine like terms on one side, do it before you move anything. Once you can't combine any more terms on each side, this is when you say, all right, let me get my x terms together. I need to get rid of these x's over here. I need to move them. So it's positive, so we're going to subtract x. But notice on the other side, I'm going to subtract x. 3x minus 1x is 2x. Minus 16 equals, it's positive 2, so we're just going to write 2. And now that all my x terms are over here, it's just a matter of getting the x by itself. So we move all of our constant terms or our numbers to the other side. This becomes 2x equals 18. 2 times what is 18? The answer is 9 for this problem. Or you can just go ahead and finish it off by dividing. Divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1x. You always just divide by the number, never by x, just by the number. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So this is the way your textbook would ask you to do these longer problems. Like this one. The textbook would say, first combine all of your terms on one side, and then continue to move them back and forth. But what I want to do with this one is show you another method that some students like. I'll try to make clear sense of it as I go. Some students don't like to move one term at a time like I do this. Move my x's, move my numbers. So this is what they'll do. They establish to themselves that they're going to put all the variables on this side and all the constants on this side. So any variable that's already here, 7x plus 2x, they're just going to write it there already. 7x plus 2x. Those are already there. And then what they do is say, are there any variables on the other side? And they see this minus 8x. But they know that they really want this x term to be on this side. So they know they're going to have to put plus 8x to get rid of it. So they're going to write plus 8x on this side. Those are all my variables. All the terms that have a variable. Equals, on the other side, they know they're going to write all their numbers. So they start by writing just the numbers that are already there. That's a 2 plus the 15. Those are already on this side. Now they look on the other side. Are there any numbers that I got to bring over? Yes, that 17. But to bring it over, if it's a minus 17, I would have to add 17 on both sides. So they're going to put plus 17. So the students that do it this way, what they like to do is just move everything at once and then just combine them. 7x plus 2x plus 8x, that's 9, that's 17x. On the other side, 2 plus 15 is 17. 17 plus 17 is 34. And the last thing they do is 17 times what is 34? It's 2. But if you want to know what x is, if you're multiplying, you do the opposite. You divide, you're going to get an answer of 2. If you like this method, be my guest and use it. The other method of doing this same problem, the other textbook method, would have been combine first. 7x plus 2x would be 9x. Combine on the other side. 2 plus 15 is 17. So combine what you can first. Then the other method would have said, now let's get the x's together. Plus 8x plus 8x. Got to do it on both sides. So I'll get 17x minus 17 equals 17. Now I want to get that x by itself, so I'm going to add 17 to both sides. And I'm going to get 17x equals to 34. and I'm going to divide by 2. So this way just requires a little bit more moving, but it's structured. This way, some students just like to move everything at once. The only thing is that I will caution you about is make sure that if you do this, you understand that the terms that are already there stay as is, but when you have to bring something, you have to do the opposite to it. That's why it changes.